Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the 42nd installment of what I like to call I Ran Out of Ticked Off Thins Tuesdays clips and the series is done. I literally made it to the bottom of the list and there are no more Ticked Off Thins Tuesdays clips. What will become of Punchaluffagus? Don't worry, Punchy can still come in handy from time to time. How's it going there, Punchy? 1 second on Earth is like an eternity, burning in the deepest, darkest pits of hell without a light to guide you. Oh, Punchy. It's getting dark in here. Can't disagree. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a clip where somebody says that being fat is not a choice. A classic take. Is my shirt unbuttoned enough? Is this freaking ridiculous? Before we proceed, please click like and subscribe so that I may apply comb to mustache. Alright, they're going to be responding to this comment that says, being fat is a choice. I am fat, and it's 100% by choice. I don't have the desire to lose weight at this point in my life. Being fat isn't healthy.
You should really do some more research on topics before you go blowing your mouth around and stuff.
Go blowing your mouth around? Okay. I see you're very passionate about this, so much so that you've become animated. It's alright, man. You don't have to turn into a literal cartoon, dude. It's chill.
Trying to be a keyboard warrior.
What? How is this person trying to be a keyboard warrior? They said being fat is a choice. I am fat, and it's 100% by choice. How is that being a keyboard warrior? They said that they were also fat, and they're basically like trying to give you some advice. Their advice basically is, hey, let's take accountability for our own actions, you know? And you're like, stop being a keyboard warrior. What the heck?
And hiding behind your keyboard.
Stop hiding behind your keyboard and telling this woman how you also are overweight.
You really have no idea what you're talking about. If your situation is by choice, and that's what you're choosing to do, then by all means, do that.
But yours isn't. You got the genetic obesity. Some people choose to be obese, but not you, though. This is the one that's out of your control.
But for you to go on to somebody else's page and then be passive-aggressively rude to them because of your poor life choices is unacceptable.
Okay, so this person is saying that poor lifestyles cause weight gain just because that's what they did, right? Is what you're saying. You're like, just because you eat poorly and that's why you're obese doesn't mean that's why the rest of us are. Stop bullshit. You can't get rid of me. I'm darker than a star imploding on itself, okay? All right, Punchy. Dang, you win. God, it's not a contest to see who's the most ruthless. Jeez.
And absolutely a Karen move.
A Karen move. Mm-hmm.
Not everybody has a choice in what their genetics bring out, and most people...
Not everybody has a choice in what their genetics bring out. Some people do. Some people choose to bring out, like, their grandfather's genetic trait of being tall or whatever, you know? Some people do.
Today, are genetically predisposed, and I say this as a genetic genealogist.
As a genetic genealogist. Alright, I had to go look up genetic genealogist because it sounded too redundant to be true. That is actually a job. They work alongside the scientific scientists, for those that don't know.
Of over 12 years.
Okay, so now you know things about weight loss, apparently, and whatever you have done or have not done is the fault of genetics because you went to school for genetics. I see. That's weird. There seem to be a lot of highly educated obese people who know how everything works, but they just can't get it under control. It's weird. All of us simpletons that don't have a PhD in genetics, I don't know how we do it, dude. It doesn't count, though. The way that I lose weight or the way that I live my life doesn't count because I don't have a PhD. It's weird. It's almost like these degrees mean fuck all. It's weird. It's almost like you paid $100,000 for nothing. It's almost like the school just likes money and they just want your $100,000. Dude, there are so many educated idiots out there.
most people in the United States right now are genetically predisposed to being overweight or obese.
Predisposed. Okay, what does that mean? You have a predisposition to something. You're more inclined to be that way if you go down that path. Being predisposed to something is different than having it. By the way, these are obvious nonsense statistics. Everybody's predisposed to it. Saying that the whole population is predisposed to obesity is like saying the whole population is predisposed to butt AIDS or something. It means nothing. For those that do have butt AIDS, this statement will ring true. For those that don't, they'll always be wondering. So this person is saying that the majority of people in the US are predisposed to obesity. Genetically, most of these people will be obese. Rather, predisposed to obesity, meaning that if you take the right steps, you won't become obese. So the predisposition may as well not exist then.
And not because they're eating poorly.
Not because they're eating poorly. Oh yeah? So you eat perfectly and you're still obese because of genetics.
Not because they're unhealthy.
Right.
Not because their physical stature has some kind of an impairment. Okay?
Okay. Okay. I love that you're schooling me and you're so very confident in it. That's the best part of this.
It's because of genetics, for the most part.
For the most part. But you can overcome those genetics with proper diet and exercise, right? Which means that the word means nothing, right? It literally means nothing. Genetics come into play if you sit there and do nothing. Okie doke. So genetics are how your body will look if you don't ever exercise or diet. Genetics will control how your body shapes if you don't diet and exercise. If you would like to take control of your genetics, I suppose you will diet and exercise. So you don't have to develop grandma's end table ass. My genetics will have me having a butt that goes straight out like this and flat like that, just like my grandma. Okay, if I sit on this couch like she did. I feel that I will store fat in very similar places as my ancestors did, so that's where the genetics come into play. The dieting and exercise, though, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing in the here and now to take care of my situation. That's what I'm doing. The places that you store fat are genetic, and your propensity for building muscle is genetic. If your dad lifted weights and his dad lifted weights and his dad lifted weights, you're going to get super jacked as soon as you enter the gym.
Obviously, there are also people out here who are fat by choice.
I don't think that's anybody. Okay, like maybe a couple people who are being misled by their abusive boyfriends or husbands to keep eating because they're some sort of feeder. I've yet to meet the people that are fat by choice. I've seen a lot of people that are fat and then they pretend that they like it to like save face or something, but I've never met somebody that is actually fat by choice. It's always a display. It's always an act. Nobody ever wants to actually be fat. These people are liars. Right? Some people want to be fat. Why? So they can have all the amazing benefits that you guys are always complaining about? We can't fit in the aisle. We can't fit in the seat. There's no clothes for us. Thin people hate that I exist. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to sign up for that.
Some people want to gain weight.
What? Adipose or muscle? I don't know anybody that wants to gain adipose. Even when you're bulking, you don't want to do that. Even though it happens, you're just like, oh, dang it.
Some people want to be a heavier weight.
Okay. For the point of your argument, sure.
That's their choice. And it is possible to do. However, just because your situation has you feeling like you're doing it by choice, I guarantee you, you're not fat by choice.
Okay, so all this crazy food that I'm eating and stuff that I said is the reason that I'm obese is not actually the reason that I'm obese. It's the genetics. Thank you very much. So somebody left you a comment saying basically, girl, I'm also fat. It's not genetics. It's the food that we're eating. Let's be real with ourselves. And you respond to them by saying, actually, it's not the food that you're eating. It's the genetics. You don't know anything about yourself, you moron. Clearly, whatever you're eating is not what made you big. How would you know what made you big? Dingus, it's your genetics. I know this. I'm a genetic genealogist, working alongside the top scientific scientists in the country. That's so bizarre to tell somebody, no, actually, it's your genetics. Like, they just told you, no, it's all the crazy food that I'm always eating. I know what I eat. I think I would know. And then you're like, no, actually, it's the genetics. That's so bizarre. So not only are you making excuses for yourself, you're forcing this genetic excuse on other people too. Other people are like, man, I need to get it together. My life is really in shambles. And you're like, no, it's not. It's the genes, homie. You're good. You're good. Just live your life, homie. All right, how much do I owe you?
You might want to let other people know that you are in your passive-aggressive rudeness. But
I don't think they were really that rude or passive-aggressive. They were just straight up with you. They're in a similar situation to you, so they know that it's all your choice, and you're just making up stories, and they're calling you out on it. And then you go on to make up more stories and double down.
I can almost guarantee you that even if you were to change your diet right now and exercise incessantly over the next 6 months, I guarantee you, you might lose some, but you're going to hit a plateau.
You're going to hit a plateau, like all those starving kids in Africa, right? They starved for a while, and then they hit a plateau. Now they're good. They don't need food anymore. Thank you so much, doctor. It's funny that this plateau only seems to exist in modern countries, and only people eating a modern diet seem to experience it.
And you're going to realize that it's age, that your body is wearing down.
So you can maintain obesity because you're old. As you get older, your body starts to not need fuel anymore, and it can filter feed, and you can pull calories from the air. I forgot about that part. When you get to about 65, that'll kick in for the rest of you, so just hang in there for that. All those starving kids didn't make it to the golden age where they start filter feeding. That's the problem. They starved before they got to that age.
Oh, God, what was that? Genetics. There's that.
Why is it so hard to just say, I am where I am today because of the steps I took yesterday? Everything that's happening to me is my own fault. Why is that so hard? To me, it's just embarrassing, dude. If I'm going to fail at something, I'm not going to go make a bunch of weak excuses, dude. That is so embarrassing. God, it's embarrassing. Like, if you fail at something, a better response would be to say nothing. Just walk away and say nothing. If I tried to sculpt this turtle, but I couldn't and it came out all deformed and stuff, I'm going to like go on a rant about how turtle sculpting is stupid and the people that first created it are a bunch of bigots or some nonsense, instead of just like being like, well, I couldn't really sculpt it. I should probably try harder. Instead of that approach, we're just going to say the whole process is stupid and anybody that's ever been involved with it is stupid. And anybody that's good at carving turtles, they were born with that ability, bro. And the rest of us just can't get it. It's just out of our control. That's a very weak mentality. It puts you in a victim place and you can't bring yourself out of it. It's the genetics. I couldn't help myself if I wanted to. Oh, how convenient. When you make all these bizarre excuses and stuff, it's not fooling anybody else outside of you. So you're really only doing it for your own benefit. So you're really just doing a disservice to yourself. You just told yourself, I could never lose weight due to my genes. Okay, then you won't. Okay? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So stop saying you can't. I hate that, dude. I absolutely hate the phrase, I can't.
Medical issues that might be present.
There's a million reasons why you can't, but no reasons why you can. But it's all your own reasons, and it all comes from you.
But just because you have a medical issue doesn't mean that you're unhealthy.
Just because you have a medical issue doesn't mean that you're unhealthy. Can you provide me an alternate definition of health, please? From Merriam-Webster's dictionary.
Some people have mental illness issues.
And they're not unhealthy, I guess, is what you're trying to say?
That keep them from being able to function normally. That is not unhealthy.
What? Dude, are we both losing the plot here simultaneously, madam? Because...
That's not a choice either. Okay.
Okay, so... obesity is not a choice because mental illness is not a choice. Okay.
Okay. Also, medications. Some people are on medications that cause weight gain.
Yes, medications can mess with your hormones and do all kinds of stuff or make you have an increased appetite. But it is the increase in eating that makes you gain the weight. If your hormones are affected, there are other changes that you can make to counteract that.
That is not a choice.
All right, and then it cut right there with her saying that is not a choice. I disagree. I think most everything in your life is a choice. There are a few things that are outside of your control. All right, you heard it here first, folks. Take it from a genetic genealogist. Obesity is not a choice. It's 1000% genetic. That post had 86 thumbs up. For every ridiculous post out there, you'll find like hundreds or even thousands of hearts on it. It can really make you lose faith in humanity. Obesity is a choice. Being fat is not genetic. There's nothing but excuses coming out of this entire movement. It's literally anybody else's fault but yours, 100% of the time, no matter what, so you're never gonna get anywhere in life. Oh, Punchy, that's right. So obviously obesity is not genetic and it is 1000% within your control. Since Ticked Off Thins is gone, what topics would you like to see me cover next? There are many topics that are thematically adjacent to fat acceptance that we could cover. I was thinking about trying out that cottage cheese ice cream. Make a video about that. Would you like to see that? Please click the like button. 1 like equals 1 mustache Komen. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.